Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Tooth and Nail from 2007. It's from the second year of the After Dark Horrorfest, is directed by Mark Young, and stars Nicole DuPont, Rachel Miner, and Ryder Strong. This film isn't great, but it isn't bad either. It's somewhere in between. Before watching it for the purposes of this review, I was dreading it because I didn't remember liking it very much, but as I watched it, I realized I remembered it far less favorably than I actually feel about the film. I know exactly why that is, though, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, but first there are a couple other things to cover about watching Tooth and Nail that I'd like to share. First off, this is the second Ryder Strong movie out of the second batch of the 8 films to die for, his first being the much lamer Borderland, which we've already talked about. This film is also the second Horrorfest film to feature Rachel Miner, now in blonde flavor, who starred in the 2006 Horrorfest film Penny Dreadful. This film is also quick to boast that it also features bigger names like Michael Madsen, Vinnie Jones, and Robert Carradine, although it should be pointed out that their contributions to the film are minimal. So now that we've covered that stuff, the reason I remembered this movie less favorably is because it features one of those storylines where humanity takes a backseat to its more primal nature and torture is involved. There was a time in my 20s when the horror fests were coming out when I was a gorehound, always on the hunt for a movie that pushes the boundaries, and while I didn't necessarily enjoy torture films, they did hold more interest to me as a study in humanity. Well, the 2020s have shown us that humanity is just as disgusting and dumber than horror movies have a tendency to paint us, and so I no longer am interested in those types of movies. Hell, I don't even really like them. And I haven't been a gorehound since my late 20s, having believed I found the line where a horror movie is too much, so you'll see more movies like this in my collection coming up, but chop them up to a misspent youth. We'll talk more the next time we run across this type of movie, which I barely talked about, as it turns out. Look, if you like post-apocalyptic films where the victim has to become worse than their aggressor in order to survive a tribe of cannibals, here's your film. But it's not bad, just deals with icky situations, so I guess I'll give it a C+. Join me tomorrow when I talk about the final film from 2007's After Dark Horrorfest, Unearthed. See y'all then.